After finishing Borgen, Dia actually asked me if I wanted to do a new story, and I thought at the time, and still think that religion was a very, very interesting and very disturbing and very amazing topic for a show. Also, I mean, what could possibly be more political than politics? Well, religion would possibly be a topic like that. Because we are so much into religion when we're discussing integration, immigration, when we're talking refugee crisis. And therefore, I really wanted, and you can write on many different emotions. This one is definitely curiosity for me, because I want to try and understand this. And also from a technical, dramatic point of view, it's very interesting that your characters are actually moved by faith, something that is so aloof, so difficult to grasp. Because when you have a crime story, you move the detective because he wants or she wants to solve the crime. But these people are moved and divided and are thrown into amazing, huge conflicts because of faith. Well, Denmark is supposed to be a very secular nation, basically. We tend to say that we're not very religious. And still, if you look at the Danish flag, it wears the cross. If you look at our passports, they wear the cross as well. When we open our parliament, it starts with a prayer every year. And what does the Queen say in her New Year's speech? God preserve Denmark. So I mean, we might be secular, but still religion is everywhere. And religion is everywhere right now, I mean, in the public debate. And for my own part, well, I guess I'm a mix, just like many people in Western societies anyway, because I'm also stitched together faith-wise by a little Christianity from my childhood, possibly, and a little bit of superstition, a little bit of fashionable Buddhism, you know, a little bits and pieces, and that's how we stitch it together. And I think it's very interesting. I was giving a lecture the other day, and I asked the people in the room, how many of you believe in God? And I would say about 10–15%. They thought it was a very intimate question, so they kind of raised their hands a bit reluctantly. And then I said, but how many of you would actually believe in that there are more than meets the eye between heaven and earth, that there are connections in this world that cannot be measured scientifically and stuff like that? And then almost everybody raised their hands. And that's believing in magic stuff as well. I mean, it's the same thing. So, I mean, perhaps we are a bit reluctant to say that we belong to this religion, but all of us, almost all of us, are saying a little prayer every time the airplane jumps a bit, right? And every time our children are in some kind of need or in a difficult spot, we pray that someone will actually take care of them. Someone that is not a person we know, but is just a will. So I guess I'm no better, no worse than the audience to this series. That I stitch my religious life together.
First of all, it was character-driven, you know, and that is nice for an actor to actually, you know, act. So that's one of the things, and then I related to the material as well in many of the same, you know, many of the same reasons that he's describing, being very secular, living a very sort of secular life in many ways, but throughout my life having struggled with, am I really just me? Is it really just me, you know, that I relate to? Or do I actually, you know, when I get up and I hit my foot and I spill my coffee and I go, what the fuck is this happening to me? Then I'm in some sort of dialogue, you know? So if you acknowledge that in your life, that you are actually having a dialogue once in a while, what is it then that makes you courageous enough to actually go for that point where you say, I believe. Yeah. So there's a stretch there, yeah, from which is also a part of this, what we're doing here. There's a line in it that it takes courage in this very, to not be like all the other sheep, claiming not to be naive. I will not be naive. But yeah, so I've been struggling with this also in my own life, and I've found that you do that as an actor. If it relates to you, then you think that it must relate to the rest of the world. He's a very good priest. He's one of those that says what we want. I mean, he formulates what we as an audience go, that's nice. Yeah, he's good at his work. Yeah, but he's not so good at his own life. Yeah? So in between that, the character is sort of drawn. Then the arch of it is that he. Being a priest for generations, I mean, they've been like for 250 years, that drive, that the pressure of that, he's putting that into his children too, which is a sort of not very rational pressure, yeah? And that has effect throughout the season. That will then develop the characters. Yeah.
This takes place in a family of priests, and you can say, well, that is very specific, isn't it? But in every family, there's pressure between mothers and fathers and their children. And as parents, our main goal should be not to destroy them, right? In expectations and pressure of all kinds, or destroy them with love, and no pressure, no expectations. How do we find that path? It's very difficult, and it is in this family. So it is. I mean, even though the show asks huge questions of existence and faith and belief and religion, it very much is a show about a father, a mother, and two sons that are struggling not to destroy each other. It really takes us into a huge journey. We have also been very ambitious, both visually and also, I mean, in terms of where we are shooting the show. One of the sons goes to war as a military chaplain wearing the cross on his uniform, going to war in the Middle East. The other son, who is the disappointment of the father, who has decided to take a different path and has left religion, theology, and actually gone in a completely different direction. He goes to the Himalayas, and actually there comes across Buddhism in the high mountains, and therefore also becomes a changed human being when he gets back to civilization. So the two brothers actually have, they both meet different cultures and different religions, and that has a huge impact on their lives, life-changing impact.